Lloyd Dussault Sr. checking in. It's been a while since I've gotten back to this little critter. This is the going to be the tennis racket ukulele when I'm done. And I had a whole bunch of other things to come along, including a Fender Precision bass that needed to be reworked and another ukulele that I had to finish up. So this was pushed to the side. So I'm going to get back with the program here shortly. And I've initialed it. So, and I put August 2020. And it will be done before the end of August, so I guess that would be legal. So almost time to glue on the bottom. Do some work on the neck. I want to taper the neck and do a little bit of more work on that and figure out what I'm going to fill in here a little bit perhaps. So I just thought I'd do a quickie on the tennis racket ukulele, and I will check in shortly again after I've done a little bit more work and show you where we're at, but I'm not going to bore you with grinding and filing right now. There's plenty of other videos out there that show the process, so Lloyd Dussault Sr. checking out for the moment. Lloyd Dussault Sr. checking in for a couple of minutes. I'm getting ready to put some shape into my neck on my tennis racket ukulele, and I just thought I'd show some clamps that I made that I'm using right now. They're a combination of a pressure clamp that's made like this. Also, I got a threaded rod that goes into the tabletop, and to make sure that we don't just pin, because that's an awful thin rod, I have a little bracer blocks that I can put on this side, which stabilizes. So when you keep this up and you put the pressure here, I've got this thing locked down nice and tight, and it works really good. It's a little slow to set up, but I can set it up pretty much anywhere on the table that has the threaded holes in it. Run it down and use different configurations. I can extend it, mount it here or here, and so it allows me to move it in and out. And I'm going to try it for a while and see if it's worth the effort that I put into it. So Lloyd Dussault Sr. checking out, and I'll be back. Lloyd Dussault Sr. checking in. Well, keep on keeping on with this little project on the tennis racket ukulele. I have secured the back, and the way this is actually makes it quite easy to glue a top and a bottom on when you have a rim like that. It makes the job a little bit easier. So I'm going to unclip it, give it a quick flip so you see how we're getting along with it, or I'm getting along with it, as it were. Well, what the world needs is more clamps. They never have enough of them. There we are. The back is on. I'm going to give it a little trim job here. And, well, we have, I don't know how much you can see there. There's the headpiece. That's what I trimmed off the back in the earlier portion of the video. I still have some sanding to do to bring this in and get it nice and true all the way around, but that's about where we are. So the next thing I'm going to do is sand this off, and I won't put anybody up to the misery of watching that happen. Oh, what do we got here? Well, interruptions. All right, they'll leave a message. Anyways, where was I? Oh yes, we get down to the nitty-gritty here. We going to finish this job up one of these days, so this will be going on very shortly in the 0 fret, and this piece here, let me flip this around, works more better for me. And this piece will be going in behind it, and all that is a guide for the strings. Be drilling the peg head, put some tuners in. And I have a little bridge plate here. And a saddle. Saddle is not bone right now, it's maple, real hard maple, so I haven't decided where to go with that. But that's where we're at the moment. Well, I do salt seeing you, checking out again, and keep you up to date as to where we're going and when we're going to be done. Checking out. Lloyd just out seeing you, checking back in for a few minutes here. I finished putting the bands around to cover the trim around the edge of this guitar, and I'm about done the clamp here. And didn't come out too bad. These old stretchy bands here to help keep everything snuged up. And I use the good old bungee cord to keep everything in. On these, what I've done on these is I wet them up real good before I bent them. And I used a heat gun and just heated them and bent them slowly. This is pine, I believe. It's something that I had hanging around. I needed some trim, so that's what I used. And this band here is just a shock cord, or bungee cord. And I've set it up so that I can use it with a wedge. And I made a little block. I'll show you how it works. I pull there's a little wedge that fits in here. And all it is a little block of wood that's been drilled so that you can put two holes in it. Now one of them anchors to one end of it, and then the other one goes around and acts as your clamp. And then when you get it where you want it, you wedge this little piece in here, and that gives you your band whatever size you need. And it's not a perfect device, but works fairly well. The only thing I'm going to modify it, I think, and change around a little bit is the stopper knot on the top. I'm going to probably change this around so that the string would be pull part is on the top, so it makes it easier to jam a wedge in it. But other than that, this thing works pretty slick. So on this one, what I did is I used just regular old tight bond glue. Boom. To glue this one and banded it. The top part, that experiment was done with Rapid Fuse, what's called Rapid Fuse, which I like. I use quite a bit. Bonds virtually everything and sets in 30 seconds. And what I did with this one is I went around and wet it, and then just slowly worked around it with my fingers and held it in place for the time it needed to get it to bond. Not an easy task, by the way, but it did work. So just trying two different ways of doing the same job here, and not sure which one I like yet. But anyways, that's where we're at on that. I thought I'd catch you up on that, and we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Won't be too long. Whoops, if I can find all the parts that we'll be putting some more pieces on this little critter. Yeah, that's coming up next. We're going to do some finish work and a lot of sanding and filling here and there along the edge. It's not a perfect instrument, but I'm hoping it comes out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the headstock, the way that came out. That mirror image burning. And I had a friend take a look at it, and he made a comment. He says, "It looks like a steer head." And I says, "Yeah." And he says, "Well, how did you do that?" I says, "Well, you don't know what you're gonna get when you do the wood burning like that. It's kind of what you see is what you get. Sometimes something comes out pretty neat, and other times, well, not so much." But anyways, I thought I'd catch everybody up on this, and I'm going up to have a little bit of supper. So Lloyd Dussault Sr. checking out on the ukulele instrument build. do South Senior checking in. Doing some work on the peg head of this ukulele. Hopefully I can get all that in the picture. What I'm doing is thinning it out a little bit because I'd like to put a veneer on the bottom. So I have my Stumac little planer, vertical planer, I guess I could call it. And what I'm going to do is make minor adjustments, raise the bed up a little bit, and keep trimming this. I won't show the whole process, but I will show how it works. This is adjustable, so if I turn the little knob on the end, it will raise the blade just enough to start trimming. You do not want to go too much with this tool. Alright, I'm going to shut that off for a minute. And I don't know if I can get this in where I can see it myself. What I've done is I have an end piece that I added on here because this is going to be a 0 fret uke. And I've used the old super glue and tape method. Put a couple pieces of tape on this side and a couple pieces of tape on this side, and then you put a bead of super glue and clamp it together, and that gives me something which raised this up so that I could get past this and could have a flat tack on this. So I'm going to shut down now, but I'm going to continue wailing away on this. So I do South Senior checking out.